Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned about to plays the Trilogy episode 24? I want to say 24, because the last one was 23. So if my understanding of numbers is correct, we would not be on 36, so I was good to not say that number. Let's keep going. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. We have just, we're ascertaining the witness's actual witness location, which she has lied about previously. So we're now saying that she did it in the security room, and not in B block where she should have been parked, where she said she was. So, something strange to lie about unless there's something more sinister going on, so let's keep it going. I remember in your testimony, you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order, order. Witness, what have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? She talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, doesn't it strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Well, the angle of the view to the crime would change. The distance to the crime wouldn't change. The difference in lighting wouldn't change. I mean, angle of view to the crime, like, that's a given. Why, the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? Fucking dicks, man. Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright. That's unbelievable. What do you mean the lighting? It's light. What are you talking about? I don't get that. Miss witnessed a crime for the security station, but she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. The distance to the crime? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. It really doesn't, though. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You. Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Oh wow, you took a goddamn long time. So you did actually climb over the fence.
That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this?
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Yeah, Mommy, I pooped my pants because you wouldn't take me to the fucking bathroom.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright!
That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned, and with that, court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time?
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on his shoe. One was of course the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, This shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
White enamel shoe bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Well, then she must have been... Oh, her hand! That's right, she said she cut her hand during the stabbing. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. Indeed. And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? No, you did not. 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's.
So you brought it to the forensics department?
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
The other blood type matched that of the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie?
Huh.
Well, speak up!
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results, but they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Skye's.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. The shoe proves that it's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Huh?
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. That would be the damn problem right there. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? One knife wound died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Which would be contradictory is that she didn't step all over his blood, that's what. I don't know if it would be the knife, though. It's either the knife or the autopsy reports. Or... Show me this crime photo again. She's not wearing white shoes. Wait, are they his shoes? Bottom of his... Oh, it is his shoes. Okay. If it's his shoes, bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana. I understand why there were traces. Why would Lana Sky's blood be on the bottom of his shoe? So is that what we would use then? This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so, yes. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. So that's her blood, and this is his blood. Ah, there's blood here too, on the sole of the shoe. It's gotta be the victim's. Yeah, he must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood is horrible. This blood might be an important clue. About blood on the bottom of his shoe. He died from bleeding out. He didn't die instantly. We're gonna have a problem here if I don't get this right. I'm gonna try the shoe first. I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself in the foot. Okay, I have to save here. Because that way I still have at least one attempt afterwards when this does not work. Ah. Would you like a grind or a grind from the heel of my boot, Mr. Wright? Man, tough crowd. Examine the evidence. As I thought, a waste of time. Well, that was a nice break. Let's return to the testimony, shall we? You're gonna make me do this again? Dick. Okay, we gotta save here then. Oh yeah, this was what we were supposed to press. I just want to save like right before. There is a problem. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Well... Oh, we already did this part. If she cut her hand, it could dribble on the victim's shoe. Like, that's not the problem. Yeah, on the top part, at least. But the fact that this is his blood means he stepped in his own blood. But... Alright, this is where we save. I need to focus. I'll tell you! That's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty good burn. Alright, so it's not that. Why, how can we check this? A single stab wound was found. Cause of death, loss of blood from chest wound. Why wouldn't his own blood be on the top of his shoe? Also. That's actually, like... Ah, my god. Come on, come on. Well, the answer is... I might be stuck. I might have made myself stuck. Maybe the crime photo. Yes! Thank you! Oh god, we're not dead. The problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe! This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order. Well, witness?
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright. Think!
Oh, well, it's time to save again. Gotta be super cautious here. I am not redoing like a 45-minute trial. Except it's actually been like over an hour. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr!
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth, though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? That means there's no blood, is what it means. Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Except if that was the case, then there still wouldn't have been blood on the dude's shoes. Because he'd have been standing in the water. And even if he was, like, lying down on the ground, like, the rush of water would have cleaned his stuff a little bit at least, I would think. Warg! That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Boots, what do you think about this?
I don't know what he says. Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox, a lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this.
A photograph?
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet! Yes? Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel.
Huh?
Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah! I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem! Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph.
He's got the knife stabbed in him. What's going on in this exhaust pipe? Look at that. What is with this now? Oh, I didn't save. Fuck! Let's see, that shoe's got blood on it. That's the shoe. I can see it. It has blood on the top, that's the same pattern. You can even see it in the reflection.
can't look at my court record right now. The problem is, how can he bleed out with the knife still in him? I'm one of two things here. It's either that the knife is still in him, which means he shouldn't have bled out. Or that there's something in the exhaust pipe. I'm gonna say exhaust pipe. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. That's the muffler! I knew it! Cars! Man! Oh, good, we can save. Oh, thank God. Okay. We are still hanging by a thread here. Ain't gonna fall yet. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see. And I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
Well, yeah,
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth and the muffler is related to this case. Oh, Dick. Memo found in the car's trunk. No. She was talking about the muffler. The word muffler was overheard during a... It has to be this! Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler! Yeah! Yeah!
Yes, save again. I really need to stop letting things get down to the wire. It's very dangerous. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence.
Oh,
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? Ah, to be continued, yes. Ooh, there's my breathing arrhythmia again. Nice. Was waiting for that. It didn't show up yesterday. I was like, oh, am I off the hook? Nope, it's come back with a vengeance. Alright, it's not so bad right now, but... I did actually go to the doctor and, like, get an EKG, and they found an abnormality, and so I went and got x-rays, and now I'm just waiting on the results, which will happen on Monday. And we'll see what's going on, man. Oh, okay, it went away. Well, that's nice. But, yeah, you know, still not a good thing to have happen. That's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.